Many in F1 have tried to explain the difference in performance and results between Red Bull teammates Max Verstappen and Alex Albon. The team's advisor Helmut Marko has now given his insights on this subject while speaking to Motorsport-Magazin. I'm your host Dillon Shelley, and first up on Formula World, Red Bull explains Albon's struggles. Marko started off by revealing what he thinks was the tipping point. It started off with the fact that he would have won the race in Austria before he was spun around. That is a matter of self-confidence. He then divulged the hiccups the team had faced with the design of their 2020 car. On the other hand, we started the season with a chassis where the wind tunnel data showed downforce values that were not achieved in reality. Then, with a lot of experimentation and effort, we tried to get the problem under control. He then elaborated on how this shortcoming in their car's design process hasn't made things easier for Albon. In this short period of time in which the races were ticked off, it was not possible to have identical parts for both cars. This means that in most races, Albon did not start with the same parts. This went so far that we tried different things during the practice sessions and he was confronted with different suspension settings. He summed up Albon's struggles as nothing that hasn't been seen in Red Bull before, and how being Verstappen's teammate only complicates things further. And of course, it is his second season. He's in a top team and he has Verstappen as a teammate, where we have seen in the past that even established Grand Prix winners have struggled. Fast feed. Future Renault driver Fernando Alonso has confirmed that in the second half of this year he wants to recharge his batteries before his return to F1. He also added that it'll be a huge task, but maybe he'll come to a couple of races to see how the team is doing. He further revealed that he will probably be working for Renault in Imola and Abu Dhabi, and he will also work in the simulator. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel can't wait to see what it will be like to race at Imola, Mugello and Portimao, while accepting that maybe it won't be easy for Ferrari, but it's still a new challenge. Helmut Marko has suggested they're not halfway through the season yet, so it's a bit early to speculate about Daniel Kvyat's future in F1. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff thinks that every team will feel that they could have gotten more out of the new Concord agreement, but it is the best outcome to work together in the future. McLaren team principal Andreas Seidel pointed out how Mercedes manages to achieve victories time and time again. It also goes wrong sometimes, but then they always manage to hit back the weekend after, and he wants to imitate such an organisation at McLaren. Former team boss of Sauber, Monisha Kaltenborn, feels that Vettel is a multiple world champion and therefore accustomed to a certain environment. So he has to be sure that his new team will be able to offer this environment as well, as they had that in 2005 and 2006 with Jacques Villeneuve, who had problems with the environment at Sauber. She also feels that in public you shouldn't have a conflict as a team, you have to discuss all that internally, because apparently a point has been reached where it no longer works between Vettel and Ferrari. She further added that in a company, the team boss must take responsibility for this. If a driver doesn't feel heard, that's a tricky situation. Dutch Grand Prix sporting director Jan Lammers feels that in qualifying you already saw that Max had to fight hard for his third place, but if Renault can continue this performance, he wouldn't be surprised if they are on the second or maybe even first row of the grid in Monza. Renault's head of the engine department, Remy Taffen, has suggested that the teams that initially focused more on the race will benefit from the ban, teams with a focus on qualifying will suffer. He is also pretty sure that without a usable qualifying mode, Mercedes will work hard enough to find a mode fast enough for both qualifying and the race. Former F1 driver Jolyon Palmer is of the opinion that Verstappen Alonso as a lineup at Red Bull would have made Mercedes more worried next year. And he also feels that Hamilton has the pace right now and is doing everything right, but Bottas' excessive caution in wheel-to-wheel combat is making the six-time champion's life much easier than it might otherwise be. Does Albon not having equal machinery to Verstappen change how you view his 2020 season thus far? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.